What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Banlist speculation running wild through the community. When isn't it? But the conversations were already starting on Twitter, people trying to farm that free content, and then Master Duel slapped its on the table, and here's Nightmare Goblin, unbanned in Master Duel, along with Nightmare Mermaid, and the secret rare you can see immediately had a reaction also on the TCG market, where it went to $3, not the worst in the world, from 50 cents. And then you also have Nightmare Goblin, which only has one printing. It was down towards $3 and now is up towards $9 immediately. I feel like Master Duel banlists tend to lag behind a bit, almost like a test for certain cards, and then we get it later. Remember the Dragon Rulers and how it kind of stalled out and then came around for us? I feel like we get that cycle, but with banlist, your guess is as good as mine. It's still speculation on when, where, how, why with Konami, but the Master Duel has set a little precedence that if it's okay over there, it starts to be okay over here. It's been about 5 years. I just feel like power creep shouldn't be at this point, especially for Mermaid. I feel like Goblin's a little more acceptable. Flunder saying, oh, look what it needs for a fraction of our power. But yeah, I do think that Nightmare's Goblin could maybe, and then Nightmare Mermaid having access to the lock, just being so insane. Maybe they need to sell some Orcust cards. I'm not sure, but it is interesting to say the least. Psyframe Gear Delta is up in price for the super rare, and whenever I see a Psyframe piece sell out, I immediately go and check on Lambda. It only has the one holo printing, and it doesn't seem to be moving all that much. It's up a little, not a lot, and in fact, you can get them under market price if you're being smart and shopping sellers. I think this is a pretty good penny stock because it has cycled into how many formats now and found its way up graphs. Let's actually look at the year-long graph, by the way. Oh, look, it was 2-something not too long ago. So the Psyframe engine kind of left my mind for a bit, and let me know if you are playing it, if you're finding it worth it, and if you're going to commit an extra deck space to Lambda on top of it, or if you're just trying to keep it a surprise from the hand. This is definitely not something I was expecting to see in this format necessarily, especially for spells. Like, I would think maybe a side deck for traps or something like that, but again, maybe it does make a bit of sense when it comes down to it. Trap Trick, speaking of trap cards, the quarter century secret rare kind of stuck the landing, although not quite yet in sales. My Discord was talking about this, saying, look, it's still $20. When it's $20, it's selling for $20 in my opinion, and that hasn't happened, but the lowest listed are 19, which brings me into the conversation for Bonanza. Things are cooling off very slowly. Not a lot of it disappeared during Black Friday. How will the demand be for this set in the future? Let's go ahead and speculate a bit. I think that whenever a new set comes out for these kind of sets, people reach back and there's extra demand. We just saw this with Rarity 1 and even some of the odd-off rarities, Rarity 2, and now we have Stampede coming, so people, even though it will be so recent versus this, will likely reach back into a couple of these. Then you have past formats. During the WCQ season, everyone's playing the meta. There's going to be probably the biggest giant card at the WCQ. Substitute was, I think, I want to say 7,200 or something ridiculous is what it sold for, and they usually do a unique one. They don't re-wave and reprint into the ground like the other giants. Even the Edison giant cards, if you've noticed, have started to have that happen. We're now on 3 or 4 Black Roses. I know it's like 4 D-Mox. We're on the 3rd Genzo at least, and the prize walls slash the events, they keep feeling like they're cycling back. I saw that the Rescue Cat had a little trouble selling for its 3rd iteration. So when it comes down to it, it doesn't really feel like they're trying to make any of the giants too special outside of the WCQ one, which will push people to have their versions of deck. However, a lot of the old heads don't necessarily go for quarter century secret rare, and they kind of go for the old max rarity, how it was back in the day, and then some people do. So I do think it'll be an interesting mix of Stampede coming out, it being the WCQ season, some people just wanting it to look nice but not wanting to spend all the money, and I do think we'll see a good amount of movement within the set versus how it has stalled currently. Speaking of Stampede, this is a sponsored shout out. You don't have to use my code though, because you get a greater discount just logging into the site and looking at it. It is quarter century Stampede entire cases at $900, I believe that's $75 a box, and it's hard to get good deals on this sealed, so that 100 off certainly is welcome in my book. And Gamer's Choice over on their gamerschoice.com site still has their extended sale, 10% off of everything. And I looked through, there are singles worth it versus TCG Player, and it's worth trying to add up a cart there if you are trying to check out. But I know a lot of people are spent from Black Friday also, and you know, this is an extended Black Friday sale. But be aware, over on Gamer's Choice pre-order, this does apply to their future sealed right now. SP Little Knights Platinum Secrets atop the set. Why isn't it the ultimate rare or collector rare? Somebody in my Discord was basically saying Platinum doesn't seem all that well received. It's still the second highest rarity in here, and for Bonanza specifically, it's the highest rarity release of the card. People consider it over the secret rare as well from the 10s, and I think Prismatic Ultimate Rare is equally as divisive, if not looked down upon in the TCG. It did not transfer over from the OCG well. And then the Collector Rare, I have to angle it to see the shine, and then there's all the sparkles around it instead of the card, and not everybody likes that either. I'm going to call any of these necessarily home run rarities, but they are cool, unique, and fun depending on each and every card. It comes down to specific cards to be respected or liked, and Platinum Secret is just the generic second place winner after Quarter Century Secret Rare, and that would be why it's on top in there. Splash Mage Ultra Rares. I remember pushing this as a penny stock when it was like $1, and now it is a $9 lowest card. That is crazy to me, but Malice is here on our doorsteps. Maybe even crazier, the common is now $1. It sits where the Ultra used to sit, so be aware if you're going through bulk, you want to be picking these out and being sure you have them set aside. Gatling Dragon is probably one of the most expensive commons right now, and it comes from Joey's World, which the commons are harder than the holos sometimes to get, and then an OTS pack. I would really hope this is a candidate for Stampede though, and that we get a ton of nice different versions. I think this would look so nice in Secret Rare personally, so pretty brave to be, you know, rushing at cards that really could just be around the corner. I would wait till that promotion is done before going and getting anything odd and weird to like that, even Dust Shoots or Oppression, stuff like that. Primite Lordly Loathe was recently brought up on our Market Watch, but we missed Drill Beam, which also is going up in price once again towards the $3 to $4 area. This is an engine that can be played more expansively, that really does feel like it fits in so many different decks, but a lot of people are getting it specifically to prepare for Blue Eyes, and we could expect a lot of people to be hunting it. Then never underestimate the impact of a structure deck. I don't know how many times I've had to say that here on Market Watch, but the Blue Eyes deck is going to probably bring a ton of casual people back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And this, I would not be underestimating how many people are going to want to combine it with the deck. Nightmare Apprentice spiked back up. You can see even spending at $30 here and is already back to $25. Apparently an Orcus deck did very well. I want to say at a Spanish regional. I just saw the information in the Discord, and yeah, Nightmare Apprentice was played at 3 in it, and Orcus already doing its thing. And then you have the more support on the horizon, and the deck's only gonna get better, that kind of stuff. So be aware, Nightmare Apprentice doing very well for itself right now, although mostly lining up at $25. But also remember, we're going to get into reprint season where they start sprinkling things into sets ahead of the 10s, and then there's going to be multiple, you know, that's a whole year away for the next reprint season, but the spring reprint season still is there, and people are going to want their cards, they're going to want it ahead of time rather than gambling, so it'll be interesting to see where this card actually ends up. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations. I tried to be more in-depth as usual, and yeah, plenty of changes happening within the metagame and for future metagames.